To get back
I'm
to the
sure.
pitch for a minute, we've seen obviously in the last few days news that Rodri is out for pretty much the season. It looks like he's going to require surgery. Martin Zubimendi has been one of the names linked to replacing Rodri if indeed Manchester City do look to the market. I don't think that that's a good fit, Jack, personally. So I want to talk about Rodri and his impact that he's going to have in the title race with him being out now. Obviously, Arsenal are going to be sniffing blood in the water, and we're going to be probably the same. So Rodri, I want to talk about that, and also I wanted to get your thoughts on this, I guess, lazy link for Zubamendi maybe coming in, because if I look at it from the outside and I think of Rodri's attributes and what he brings to that City team, very different player to Zubamendi and what he would bring to the City midfield. So I wanted to get your thoughts on both of those things. Rodri's impact, I guess, on the title race being out, and of course, the Zubamendi link.
Yeah, well, firstly, I'm not one to celebrate injuries, but
We have to say that, don't we? We all have to put the caveat out there just so we're not
yeah,
sounding like assholes and then
yeah.
get straight into them. But this video is sponsored by Surfshark, the best VPN on the market. Surfshark is an app or browser extension that allows you to change your location to access websites in other countries and keep you safe and secure from hackers. Using Surfshark, we here in Ireland can access other countries' Netflix libraries or other streaming platforms like DAZN in Spain for all those important Premier League games. Surfshark keeps you safe and private by protecting everything you do online. Everything. When your device connects to the internet, all that information is, in a way, blurred out. Surfshark is particularly useful for keeping you safe from being hacked if you use public Wi-Fi. Let's say you're in a cafe, you're at college, you're out and about, they've got you covered. Surfshark allows you to use one subscription on unlimited devices, meaning you can share your account with friends or family or that neighbour who's a little bit cheap. On top of all of this, Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. You can also upgrade to Surfshark One, which includes the VPN, an alert system for breaches related to your data, such as emails and credit cards, and an antivirus software for your desktop. Our sign-up offer gives you Surfshark VPN for a little over €2 a month. Simply scan the QR code on screen right now or use the link in the description and enter the code Anfield Agenda at checkout.
But it's one of those. We all know Rodri's importance. He's going to be in probably the top three for the Ballon d'Or this year. He's been
He's an
phenomenal.
incredible midfielder, mate. He
Oh,
really is.
he is. He's outstanding. So it's good news in that respect. That he's going to be missing for a large period of time. Now I've got that out of the way. It's yeah. Zubimendi would just be typical, wouldn't it? It'd be typical City. We know the six market is absolutely awful. And Zubimendi is probably the best out there. It'd be typical of them to just sweep in and get him. But like you say, completely different. Man City like a six who can, make them tactical fouls and get away with it like Rodri does so well. That's really important for Guardiola. So yeah, I don't know whether it will happen or not. I know if you believe reports, we're going to be banging still for Zubimendi in the summer. In January. Are they going to, try and inflate the price for us? Who knows what their interest will be. It seems to be the fact that they're clinging on to it not being an ACL with Rodri, and they seem to be, sending him to Barcelona for all kinds of tests, don't they? So whether he will be back this season or not, we're yet to have confirmation for, but maybe it's them not making themselves seem desperate for when it comes to January and they go in the market for a six. Who knows? What are your thoughts on it, Craig?
Same as you. Caveat, pretend I've inserted the comment about not celebrating a player's injury here, yada yada. I look at them, mate, and I think he's out. De Bruyne is at the tail end of his career and he's starting to pick up lots of knocks, niggles, and strains now. I think an injury to Haaland for any prolonged period of time, and this title race could be truly open. I mean, we've seen the first heavyweight clash of the season between Manchester City and Arsenal, and I guess we should probably talk about that for a minute. I thought that was an incredibly attritional game, a great advertisement for the Premier League. They had a little bit of everything. First 10 or 15 minutes, mate, I thought Manchester City were going to beat them 4 or 5-0. I thought they were going to absolutely wipe the floor with them. But Arsenal on set pieces, Jack. What is it about them now this season?
Oh,
Real has been unplayable from set pieces.
it infuriates me watching teams defend against them though, because you know what's going to happen. Why stick Doku there for the first one, and then when you see the first one and you see how Doku struggled to defend with Gabriel, do you go, "Oh, do you know what might be really good? Let's put Walker in that position instead because he's going to stop it." And then you just keep the back post with no one on there. You think just get your biggest man and get him blocking off Gabriel to stop him from making that.
Ironically, that would have been Rodri.
Well, but you know exactly what he's going to do, and every team defends against them in the same way. So it baffles me, and I really hope we're not a team that defends like that against them from set pieces. But yeah, I think it's a testament to Arsenal, and part of it is due to the fans and the way they react in comparison to City having zero fans. But I was happy when that John Stones goal hits the back of the net because I think Arsenal are more of a threat this season. And I don't know what it is. I think it's because of, like you said, now Rodri's injured. And, like you say, Man City were outstanding for that opening 15, 20 minutes. But it was when Rodri went off that shit kind of hit the fan. And the first goal, I know the first goal was potentially, well, it was a referee's fault, wasn't it? Let's be honest. But City just didn't look the same. They really struggled in the second half. And like we say, Rodri is so important to Man City. De Bruyne is getting older. Edison, I think part of him was in Saudi. Before the start of the season, and they've sold Julian Alvarez and not replaced him. So I think though City have Haaland, who's phenomenal in front of goal, and at times, even this season they've shown without Rodri, they can be still a very, very, very good football team. You do favour Arsenal, and I think they're the worry this season. I really do.
It is. I mean, it's a fair shout. They look impressive. They look well drilled. They look like they've got some strength in depth. They look like they've learned the dark arts as well. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to push back. They were
They're a
seconds
horrible
away there.
team, though, aren't they? They're a horrible team.
Oh, yeah, they really are. Yeah, and they're
City.
very. The manager's not very likable. I can't. I don't like Arteta, mate. I can't lie. I don't.
They're the new Chelsea. They're the new Mourinho Chelsea. That's exactly what they are. They're vile. I hate them.
Good, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Usually, it's me that goes over the top on these things. So yeah, I'll echo your sentiments on that. But it's effective. You got to give them that credit as well. They finally have looked like. I mean, years gone by, we'd have always thought of Arsenal being a bit soft, wouldn't we? Ultimately, they're a good technical team, play some good football, but they could be bullied. This group maybe a little bit different, Jack.
Yeah, well, definitely. And like I say, they're just very unlikable. But you have to give Arteta testament. There's a lot about the fact he's not really won much yet up by the FA Cup, but like you say, he's completely turned them around. And yeah, it's taken them time. But they're a completely different team, a completely different squad now. And he had a big job on his hands when he first went to the club, didn't he? So yeah, as unlikable as he is, he's done a good job there, and fingers crossed we can stop them from winning the title this year, and also them that horrible team from Manchester don't win it either.
Well, what do you make of our start to the season? Obviously, we're now 7 games in, including the Champions League and the League Cup from Arne Slot. 6 victories, 1 loss, 13 scored, 3 conceded. It was, let's be honest about it, an easier start to the season than some other teams as well. But what do you think of our chances to be there or thereabouts in the title race at the end of the campaign based off what we've seen so far?
Well, I don't think any of us really expect it, do we? But if we're there, it's a bonus. I think we've seen some really good stuff from Slot's Red so far this season. Obviously, there was that complete anomaly with the Forest performance, but I think in a manager's first season, you're going to get that. Now, Slot's inherited a very good squad. It's unusual for that to happen. Usually, when a manager comes in, there are things disjointed. The only thing disjointed really for Arna this season is the contract situation, isn't it? Everything else, it's a good position for him to come into the football club. But it's just the players getting used to his style and things like that. We are going to have a few difficult results and anomaly performances like that Forest one. So I do think we'll be there and thereabouts. We've got a fantastic squad. The way we're playing under Arna is superb. Do I think we're going to win it? Probably not. But I hope we do. And at the end of the day, there will be an element of luck in it. If you look at the injuries we had to deal with at times last season, Arsenal didn't really get that. Fingers crossed this season, we're a team that doesn't get that many injuries, and Arsenal and City are both dropping like flies if that happens. And usual caveat, we never like to wish injuries, blah blah blah. But if that happens, we're well in the race, and I do think we'll be up there, Craig. I absolutely do. But I think we'll in Slot's first season we'll just miss out.
So for me, it'll come down to how much we get shafted in the head-to-heads by the referees. Again, I don't want a repeat of last season where in every game against Spurs, Arsenal and City, there were contentious decisions that went against us. I'm going to hold him to what he said. That's what I've been thinking about in recent weeks. He said an improvement on last season's points total is what he's aiming for. For me, Jack, that's what I'm going to hold him to. I'd like to see us break the 81, 82 point barrier that we finished up on last season.
Yeah, and as long as we break that, we should be in and around the race anyway, shouldn't we? So, yeah, if we can get that, then happy days. And I think my main worry at the moment, like you say, part of it's down to head-to-heads. After the international break, we've got a bit more of a difficult run, haven't we? And that's where we'll start to really see where we'll be come the end of the season. But also, you've got to think about how we played against Forest, and we've got to improve on that really quickly. Sometimes under Klopp, that would be our Achilles heel during the season. The same problem over and over again. Whereas now, we've struggled against a low block. Let's see how quickly Arne can sort that problem. And hopefully next time we come against a team that plays in that same kind of style, we know how to fix it and we get through that straight away. So, let's see what happens there.
I mean, it could be worse. We could be up in Manchester and be drawing 1-1 with FC20 in the Europa League, which I won't lie, Jack, I had a little chuckle about last night when we were doing our watch along and that result was coming in.